Let's head on over to silver and black territory. Coming off their bye week, the Oakland Raiders are trying to get by the Atlanta Falcons. The Raiders are 1-3. Head coach Dennis Allen spent some time on the Falcons sideline as an assistant coach, but will that help the Raiders earn a victory Sunday?
They got a good football team, and I understand what type of football team they are. I understand what type of challenge it's going to be to go into the Georgia Dome and play this team. And so I guess maybe from that standpoint, I can, hopefully get our guys prepared for what they're looking for, going into that environment. It's going to be a tough place to play. They'll be ready to go. Like I said, they got a great team, so it'll be a challenge.
There you have it, Dennis Allen from earlier today as the Raiders get ready to head east. They take on maybe the best team in the NFC in the Atlanta Falcons. Let's talk Raiders football right now. Longtime NFL writer Len Pasquarelli joining us here on Chronicle Live. And Len, let's start with one area that should be good for the Raiders, and that's the running game. How are the Raiders going to get Darren McFadden going this season?
Well, it's a great question, Jim, and they got to get him going against the Falcons. I mean, the good news for the Raiders is that the Falcons have the 28th defense in the league against the rush, really kind of uncharacteristic for a Mike Smith team. They've been in the top 10 each of the last 3 years. The bad news is as you articulated, McFadden just hasn't been going. Some amazing statistics on McFadden. I mean, if you take away the 64-yard run against the Steelers a couple weeks ago, he's averaging only 3.4 yards per carry. He's had only one other run, Jim, of more than 8 yards. And about 40% of his runs this year for 1 yard or less. But maybe the most incredible statistic, Jim, is that McFadden in no game this year has had consecutive carries or 2 or more consecutive carries of 4 yards or more. So, I mean, he's a key to this offense and a key to keeping the Falcons offense off the field.
Boy, that is a huge piece for the silver and black. And then if you flip the script over and take a look at what Atlanta can do, the way Matt Ryan is playing this year, this guy is having an MVP type of a year. I know we're just past the quarter post, but when you look at the Raider defense, is this the week? If you've got Matt Ryan on your fantasy team, you're pretty happy this week, aren't you?
Yeah, you ought to be happy. Ryan's having a great year, as you said, kind of an MVP kind of year. And it's not a really good matchup for the secondary of the Raiders, particularly at tight end, where you've got the ageless wonder, Tony Gonzalez, and he's benefiting a lot, Jim, from having great wide receivers on the outside and Julio Jones and Roddy White. But, give credit to Tony Gonzalez. Pretty good, too, using a lot of those basketball moves he obviously learned years ago out there at Cal, boxing off people, shielding them off, pushing off a little bit. The guy really is drinking from the fountain of youth. I want a little sip of that. 5 or more catches in every game this season, 5 in a row. He's had only 2 streaks of better than that in his career. He's been targeted 10 or more times, Jim, in 3 of the last 4 games. And he's caught all of 1 pass of the last 19 thrown to him. So if he's going to retire at the end of this year, and there are a lot of coaches and teammates trying to talk him out of that decision, he's really going out on top.
How much credit do you give to Matt Ryan, then? We say that he could be an MVP candidate. It's early in the season. But do you give credit to the quarterback from the Falcons?
He's been, Jim, a lot more accurate than he's been in the past. He's improved his completion percentage rate by about 7 or 8%. And that's hard to do. I mean, you kind of are what you are in the NFL. But he's completing close to 69% of his passes. He's worked hard on his strength and his arm strength over the offseason. He's hard to believe here in Atlanta, where we thought he was a pretty good quarterback the first 4 years, but he's even better and playing, as you said, at an MVP level.
The last time the Raiders won out of the bye week, I was not married and did not have any kids, so it's been a while since the Raiders have won. But in a weird way, Len, is Dennis Allen getting the bye week at the right time to try and refocus this team?
Oh, probably so, Jim. I mean, you want some extra time to prepare for a Falcons team that, as you said, might be the best team in the league right now. And, I mean, they've had some injuries there. They've got to get that secondary well, particularly to play against this Falcons team. Yeah, they're coming off a rough stretch. They had that win against Pittsburgh that made everybody feel a little bit better, but not playing well in general, not the team a lot of people thought they would be, particularly on defense, I guess. So maybe a week off re-energizes the Raiders, but boy, it's going to be tough this Sunday.
Oh, it's not a good thing for the fans of the Raider Nation. All right, Len Pasquarelli, longtime NFL writer. Thanks for your insights into the Raiders. Love doing this. We'll do it again real soon.
Thanks, Jim. We'll talk to you soon.